All right, welcome back to another episode of College Football Unabridged. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, and get this channel up and going for me. I'm wanting to see this get going in the right direction, and we have a lot of stuff coming up. So, without further ado, probably one of the biggest teams this year. Always is. We're going to talk about Georgia. Um, Again, Kirby Smart coming back for his 11th season. He has lost 21 games in that time period in 10 years. Really can't ask for much more. Mike Bobo's back at offensive coordinator. Whether you love him or hate him, it's kind of a polarizing debate amongst Georgia fans and SEC and college football in general. Schuneman comes back at DC. There's a lot of talks about him getting a head coaching job last year, but he's back at DC, so that's a good thing for Georgia. Gunnar Stockton's back for his second season as starting quarterback for Georgia. He was good last year. Wasn't anything spectacular. Offense average about a little over 32 points a game. They are wanting to take that up a notch. They bring back a lot of pieces besides Stockton. They bring back Nate Frazier. They bring back Chauncey Bowens, and then they just for fun, they bring in Kentucky transfer Dante Dowdle. So they're set at a running back. Should be a really, really good running back group, which is good because they don't have a lot in the wide receiver market, wide receiver room. They do have Lawson Lucky at tight end, so always. They also bring in Caden Prothro, who's a true freshman at tight end. So they have plenty of tight ends. Georgia, you don't have to worry about them. They're like Iowa. You're always going to have a tight end. Receiving wise, they got London Humphreys is coming back along with Sokovia White Hilton. Neither one of them were really breakout stars or anything. They were just kind of I don't want to necessarily say just fillers, but they're there. They're in the program. You're hoping that they take that next step up to kind of be the guy. They also bring in Georgia Tech transfer Isaiah Canyon. He had 4 touchdowns, a little less than 500 yards last year. So he's some production, but nothing outstanding. A lot of guys, but a depth, but nothing standing out as someone you're going to really hang your hat on, or the corners are going to be really locking down on this guy, which is good too, because if you have enough weapons, you can spread it around and not have to pepper one receiver the whole time. So offense should be good. If anything else, just you got to stable running backs, just pound the ball and play good defense, which I don't know why Georgia would ever think to do that. Defense, of course, it's Georgia with Kirby Smart. He's always going to have a good defense. They have KJ Bolden at safety, who is just been outstanding for them. Ellis Robinson, the fourth, at corner. You have Gabe Harris, Xavier McLeod, Contavious Johnson, Raylan Wilson. I mean, it's always an abundance of riches with Georgia. The next guy steps up, and you're like, well, how are they hiding this guy? You have someone leave, and the next guy comes in and is better than them. They're losing Zachariah Branch in the return game, but in special team wise, they're losing him. But they have guys. They're not gonna be in short supply of athletes and players at Georgia. So went off a 12-2 season, which somehow last year almost seemed like a disappointing season. I mean, all they did was win the All they did was only lose one game during the regular season, and that was a 3 point loss to Alabama, which they absolutely revenged in the SEC championship game, 28-7. They just kind of took them to the woodshed. And then they had a shootout with Mississippi, so which honestly I did not expect. Kiffin leaves, and you have Ole Miss putting 39 points up on a Georgia team that that's that's wild. Um, so defense gave up a lot last year. Um, Offense was good, but maybe was lacking a little bit. You bring all that back for another year. I mean, you're replacing you're losing some receiving talent, but I mean, be honest, the receiving core last year wasn't anything spectacular either. They get the job done. I mean, you're not gonna worry. You're not gonna just fall off into oblivion. They're gonna be right there at the upper echelon of the SEC in college football. So it's just a matter of. It's really honestly a matter of when you get to playoffs how they're gonna end up, because you're pretty much guaranteed they're gonna be there unless something absolutely off of left field happens. Scheduling wise, they got Tennessee State. Poor Tennessee State. They got Western Kentucky right after that. At Arkansas, breaking in a new coach there. Oklahoma in week 4 should be that should be an absolute monster of a game. Go ahead, and if you're gonna go ahead, and I hope you booked your tickets a long time ago for that. Then after that, they got home against Vandy. Retooling Vandy, but should be good. Then at Alabama, they got Auburn, Florida, and Atlanta, which is just weird. At Ole Miss, Missouri, at South Carolina, and of course Georgia Tech. So it's probably it's a tough schedule. Obviously, get the first 3 games there should be no problem. But then it gets really really rough. But you're Georgia, and there should be no question of any of it. But it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a little bit. Obviously, we're not getting into injuries and stuff, but you got to stay healthy. You got to stay ready for anything, and you can't get lazy. You can't go into Arkansas and lay an egg. You can't lose to Vandy. You got Florida and Auburn there, rivalry games, but with new coaching staffs. It's gonna be tricky for Georgia to replicate last season, but it's Georgia, and I would never bet against Kirby Smart. So I'm gonna say probably at 10-2, probably at worst 9, but I would say the 10-11 win season. I don't think they're going to go undefeated through that. If they do, then that's going to be a historical season for Georgia. Not that they need anymore. Not that they're lacking in that department, but this should be a really good season for them. But the scheduling may prove a little bit daunting for Georgia. But again, it's going to be Georgia's Georgia. So unless Kirby leaves and goes to NFL, and they just flounder for a little bit, and even that probably would be great would be a great record for anyone else besides Georgia. But that being said, gonna say low end at 9 wins, but probably 10-11 win season, and more of the same from Georgia Bulldogs.